For every branch of the old oak tree that fell, a member of the Earl's family would die.
No. Now, at Alton Towers in the Midlands, there is a ride called Hex. Now, at the ripe old age of 8, it terrified me, the idea of a ride that went upside down. But finally, at the age of 9 or 10, I gained the courage to go on the ride Hex. And it blew my mind, not just the physics used to make the complexion of the ride itself, and not the amazing set design that they've put together, but the story that took you through the towers itself, the story that was told about the Earl of Shrewsbury. But that story is sort of true, and it is based on this tree right behind me. Now, this is one of those archaeology finds that really merges the line between myth and archaeology, and there's so many different variations of the story. Obviously, Hex's version is a female beggar asks for money and the Earl of Shrewsbury pushes her aside. Another variation of the story is that one of the branches fell on the Earl of Shrewsbury's son whilst he was out riding one of the branches that a male beggar had already pointed out and cursed. So there's loads of different variations, but actually the chains themselves we definitely know are probably early 1800s, maybe the 1840s. Now, there is mention of this tree in the Staffordshire Sentinel in 1926, and it mentions the fact that it has this huge iron chains, but it doesn't mention why. Now, the most assumed, the most sort of approved idea is quite simple, and it is for the beauty of the tree. It's on quite a big walkway, which is known as the Earl's Drive, and it was an enormous oak tree, and still is, and the weight of its own branches couldn't be held up. So the Earl, simply wanting to preserve its natural beauty, ironically helped it with some man-made chain. The next question is, why chain? Why not rope, something much easier to use? But in the day, back in the 1800s, there was huge amounts of ironworks in the area, and so it would have been very easy for the Earl to get his hands on some chain and to lift up the branches of this beautiful oak tree. But even though it really isn't that far away in the past, there's uncertainty to it, and I think that uncertainty is kind of amazing because it leads to the eeriness of this site. The true mystique is kind of what brings the story alive.